Longevity Lifestyle Designs. This is Accurate Secrets of Longevity.com. If you have a hangover and you want to get over it quicker and reduce the damage it could be doing to your body, this is a recipe for you. I had a little thing with the camera. I started the recipe and then I didn't realize it, but the battery had shut off and I lost. Because it shut off, it didn't actually get a chance to save what it was recording, however far in it got with the recording. But I'm not that far into it. I started off with 2 cups of tea, which was made from schizandra berries, goji berries, and astragalus root. Schizandra berry is really sort of the main herb we're tailoring this around because it contains some liver detoxifying properties. So both stage 1 and 2 detoxifying constituents from the schizandra berries both brings toxins out of the liver and also helps the stage 2 part is carrying them out of the body so that they don't get reabsorbed and put back into the liver. So we took that tea, put it in, had about a tablespoon of raw butter, grass-fed butter. Then we added a teaspoon of milk thistle seeds, which are liver protective. So some people think it's liver detoxifying, but that's not the case with milk thistle seeds. It actually has silymarin, a compound in it, which is one of the most protective things you can put in your body for the liver. So it's actually would be a great thing to do before drinking if you're drinking more than 1 or 2 drinks. But it's good after the fact as well. And if you didn't know, my stance on alcohol is that it's very healthy to consume in moderate amounts. When you're drinking excessively regularly, that's obviously not a good thing, even if you have the right protocol set up. But you can help minimize the damage through various supplements and foods and an anti-inflammatory diet overall. But studies have shown that even excessive drinkers live longer than people that completely abstain from alcohol. I don't drink excessively. I pretty much always drink moderately, but once in a while I'll drink a fairly decent amount if I'm at a wedding, if it's some other sort of large party or family function. It's like a handful of times. I can count on one hand the number of times I drink, to the point of getting quite drunk in a year. It's fun, and it's a great way to bond with people when it's done in a setting that is safe, because obviously there's a lot of bad things that can come from excessive drinking. So I'm just going to put the disclaimer in there that I'm not advocating dangerous behavior. So this is that finished tea with the silymarin and butter mixed into it, and we're going to pour it back in. Goji berry, which is part of that tea, is great for building the blood, which is essential after this sort of indulgence. And then this astragalus root helps rebuild the immunity, which is depressed by alcohol when it's consumed in excessive amounts. Moderate drinking is fine for immunity. It's fine for testosterone. Actually raises testosterone. 1 to 2 drinks is actually good for testosterone levels, but excessive drinking lowers it. So that's going to be another thing we address with this drink. The next thing we're going to add is some of the substance. So you might be a bit depleted. I wouldn't add this if you're feeling really nauseous the next day, but if you're the type of person that just has sort of headaches and maybe achiness in a hangover, you'd probably do fine with this. But adding some raw pastured eggs gives you a lot of really good things in the yolk, a lot of B vitamins, but also a lot of good healthy protein, easily digestible, more so than eating a large meal that might not sit so well with you. But if you don't have a good stomach for the raw eggs, then obviously maybe do something else. So we're just putting 2 of those in. By the way, if you want to check it out, Hyperion Herbs, one of my favorite sources for herbal extracts, is now carrying schizandra berry extract. So that was one of the things used in the tea. But if you don't want the hassle of dealing with making tea, you can get it in a 4-ounce package like this, or the full 1-pound package. And you simply just add around half a teaspoon to a full teaspoon to whatever drink you're doing. This is He Shou Wu. We're adding some of this because it is very high in zinc, which can be a little bit depleted from alcohol consumption. We're going to do a teaspoon and a half, let's call that. And high in zinc and copper, high in lecithin, which is good for the blood. It's a blood builder as well. So we're really just working on these sort of restorative herbs for to counteract whatever negative things were occurring from the fun time we had last night. Next we're going to add some pine pollen, which, as many of you know, is very rich in testosterone-like compounds. androgenic compounds, testosterone being one of them, very usable by the body. And survivals of the crack cell pine pollen. And we're adding about 1 teaspoon, almost at the end of this one here. So that just helps bring those levels back up of those androgens, which might be a little bit depressed after the fact. We're going to do some yogurt. This is obviously not raw yogurt, it's from the store, but it is unhomogenized and grass-fed. So I'm at a time where I'm having difficulty finding raw dairy, but I do so well in it that I can handle some pasteurized dairy. I'm going to soon actually be able to get it again though, so I'm very happy about that. You'll be seeing that in recipes. We're probably going to add about half a cup of this yogurt. Probiotics will be really good. And the dairy in general is going to help raise glutathione levels. So if you had some undenatured whey protein, that would be great for it. Other dairy products, raw dairy products, obviously better for this. But getting that glutathione level up, which is an antioxidant that's made in the liver, is going to be very beneficial, obviously, overall for the liver. Next herb we're going to add is mucuna, which is good for raising dopamine levels, which may be depressed a little bit after a drinking session of some kind. So we're going to add a teaspoon of that, or half a teaspoon. By the way, virtually every ingredient I'm adding into this blender here can be found at the links below. Some from Hyperion herbs, some from Mountain Rose herbs if you want to use the whole herb in making your own tea. We're going to add something from E3 Live, the company. You can find the link for that below as well. This is Brain On powder. This is very rich in PEA, and just like raw chocolate. So we're going to add a half teaspoon of this because it's very strong stuff. Maybe a little bit more. And that's great, obviously. Brain On, the word just describes itself there, the name. It's very good for bringing more blood flow to the brain, bringing that awareness, that revitalization of the mind. And if you want to learn more about this blue-green algae and its many benefits, check out this video here, which is a video I did in the fall of last year about the benefits of both E3 Live, which is the whole algae, as well as the brain, which is like an extract of the blue pigments. That's why it's got that rich turquoise color. We're going to sweeten this with a bit of xylitol and stevia, just because I'm avoiding sugar, especially after the fact. You know, alcohol gets digested much like a sugar. It is technically a carbohydrate. And yeah, you want to kind of cut back on the sugar for a bit just to help with that recovery. So overall, that maybe about 2 tablespoons of xylitol, or actually more like 1.5. And then stevia is hiding around back here. There's green leaf stevia. I'm just adding in a dash of this, a pinch, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. You can always adjust it later after the blending, don't want to go too heavy on it. We're also going to add a pinch of salt just to help with the adrenals and any stress hormones that might be elevated. Salt helps lower those again. Don't want to go too high on the salt just because it can be strong. Just a pinch. And finally, we're going to add the cacao, which is just going to make all the flavors blend together nicely, really bring sort of those berry flavors in sync with the more bitter herbs and things that we've added. And I think that's pretty essential. Plus you've got the wonderful relaxing effects of chocolate, the stimulating effects if you need to get going on some things, and your little run down feeling, but also the PEA, which is good for the mind, just like the Brain On. And here we go, we're going to add about 2 heaping spoonfuls, which 3-4 tablespoons worth. I just spotted 2 other things I'm going to add quickly. Just a dash of kelp, this gives you the iodine. I just add this to everything, no specific reason for this. You just want to consistently get iodine and minerals into your diet for overall good health and protects the thyroid. We're also going to add some bee pollen, which is rich in protein, a lot of B vitamins, which B vitamins are key for recovery after the fact. You want antioxidants, B vitamins, anti-inflammatory type herbs and compounds, which is really going to be the best thing for counteracting what depletion occurs from alcohol consumption when it's to an excess. There's a lot of B vitamins in Brain On E3 Live as well. So we're going to throw the lid on there and lift this up. liking, I'm going to add a bit more xylitol and a bit more stevia and a bit more chocolate. Just because this is a drink for fun. I wouldn't do this on a daily basis as a meal just because it would be probably too much chocolate for me on a consistent long-term basis. But I basically haven't had chocolate for over a month now, at least not from daily use with cacao. Here we go. That is good. You have the sourness from the schizandra and the yogurt. It's a very similar flavor, but you have the right balance now with what I added back to it with the sweetness. It's really still not that sweet. I like my drinks pretty mild. And yeah, this is something that you could serve a bunch of friends in the morning, or it could simply be for your own personal recovery when you've gotten home from a busy night, let's just say. So cheers to that. Have a good long weekend, which I believe is coming up. I don't really pay attention to long weekends because every day is kind of the same for me unless I'm hanging out with other people. So let me know in the comments below if you have your own sort of protocol for addressing how to deal with these negative symptoms after drinking, or any other excessive thing for that matter. So some of your most favorite recovery herbs, let's say, or supplements. This recipe is partly inspired by a friend of mine. Some of the things are similar from what he said in his article. There's a blog post I'll put in the links below. It's the Highbrow Paleo Guide to Binge Drinking. So it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek post that was really funny and interesting to read, which talks about his approach to allowing himself the occasional indulgence in alcohol and what he does supplementarily to counteract the negative effects from that. So I'm going to enjoy this drink and work on editing this video maybe later on, maybe not right away. I'm still not totally recovered yet. That's, I guess, what this drink's for. But with that, like, favorite, share, subscribe to the video, and take care and embrace life without limits. Oh man, I just shot this whole video naked.